But let's find out the stocks on the editor's radar. Today we're talking about IndusInd Bank as well as the entire cement space. And cement has really been hogging the limelight off late. It's interesting as well to see the kind of delivery data. And when you map these stocks as well, Nikunj, with respect to the raw material price trend, how are they looking?
You know, it's not a $9 decline, it's like a 15% decline.
Yeah.
It's like you always say in Kotak ad, no, that it's not 2% higher, it's 50% more. Now 14% lower for the most important ingredient, which is the raw material, which is coke, I think is going to have a huge advantage in terms of what the margin expansion for the cement companies would be. 2023 was a terrible, horrible and a tough year for cement companies because demand had slowed down, transportation cost was high and raw material cost was also very high. I think if you are looking for a sector where there could be a meaningful risk to your upside, meaningful risk in terms of getting your estimates wrong, I think it's cement, because I expect that cement companies in this year will come out with strong numbers, A, because of last year's base, and B, given where the demand is moving, and C, the fact that this time around, since we will have this extra element of the entire pre-spend which will start happening because of the election year, that election cycle spending by the government also will be coinciding in FY24. So there are a lot of triggers. I think markets are slightly more negative on the entire sector per se because this sector always has given a volatility in terms of number, largely because of external factors. So the way I look at cement is demand is robust. This sector is capable of giving you an earnings surprise. Go for large cap cement companies rather than mid-tier cement companies. Consolidation in the sector has already started. Adani group of stocks, they've managed to cross over that speed breaker, so to speak, which had an impact on their business. So I think that worry in the cement sector, which had come largely because of what was happening to Adani group of stocks also, that's also behind us. So it's got all the ingredients, let me put it this way. I expect the sector to be an outperformer, but within that, avoid small cap cement companies because they don't have pricing power and they do not have the advantage of scale and skill.
Stick to the large caps when it comes to cement. That's the editor's take. But let's discuss IndusInd Bank as well. And it seems, Nikunj, that the restructured assets now have reduced and a lot of factors, the margin stability, etc., seems to be reinforcing that things are getting better.
You know, we don't talk about IndusInd Bank as much as we keep on talking about HDFC Bank's underperformance. A lot of attention goes in discussing HDFC Bank's underperformance and not IndusInd Bank outperformance. Let's look at it. IndusInd Bank at the Morgan Stanley conference has come out and given a certain degree of endorsement that they are now confident of a double-digit growth. Credit offtake will remain strong. There is a trigger that Hindujas are looking at increasing their stake. They've got their house in order. They've post-IL&FS crisis. They've gone through a couple of years of a rather painful adjustment both in terms of their books and also a decrease in terms of the pre-multiple or price to book. Now look at IndusInd Bank. Now we don't realize it. Hello. 40% higher and this one is 16% higher. I'm not comparing HDFC Bank and IndusInd Bank, but all I'm saying is that it's getting unnoticed. Why it's getting unnoticed? Because in market, Avanne, what I've learned a couple of years ago, you always have your recent past performance as an indicator of what will happen in the near term. And that is where I think IndusInd Bank is suffering now because the recent bout of underperformance has led to everybody believe that this stock will never make a comeback. And that's the time you really want to be slightly more contrarian. I think in terms of momentum, it has rediscovered momentum. The book quality is getting right, the trigger from Hinduja. And I think it is also trading at valuations which are relatively cheap.
All right, so time to rein in your focus on IndusInd Bank, Aisha. That's an interesting take from the stocks on the editor's radar.